Hi, I'm Felix Lee, and today I'm going to be guiding you through a journey. This is a mysterious journey that will take us back to 1986, when one of mankind's most devastating disasters happened. This was a disaster that shook the world for decades and changed history forever. This is the Chernobyl Files. It all started out on the 26th of April, 1986, in the city of Pripyat in Ukraine. It was 1:23 a.m. when an explosion happened at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Chernobyl Reactor 4 had exploded due to a catastrophic power increase. The reactor was destroyed. The 1,000-ton ceiling cap on the reactor building was blown off. Fires reached over 2,000 degrees Celsius, which melted fuel rods and ignited the graphite that burned for 9 days, churning radiation into the environment. This accident released more radiation than the bombing in Hiroshima. 2 Chernobyl workers died from the explosions. 28 died later due to radiation poisoning. The Chernobyl Forum predicts that the eventual death toll will reach 4,000. Immediately following the explosion, 5% of the radioactive reactor entered the atmosphere. All of the reactor's xenon and half of its iodine and cesium content were released. Due to the radiation spreading, 45,000 residents were first evacuated, then 116,000, then 220,000 were resettled afterwards. But why did this explosion occur? This accident occurred during an experiment scheduled to test a potential safety energy core cooling feature. Basically, scientists were trying to test a feature that would allow reactors to continue generating energy when power levels dropped low. When they tried to lower the power to 25% of its capacity, the power level accidentally fell to less than 1%. The reactor was in unstable condition. So in order to power it back up, they turned the power up slowly, but there was a huge sudden power surge. The reactor's emergency shutdown failed, and the reactor's fuel elements ruptured. In order to try to contain the radiation, an estimated 18 billion rubles were spent. Over 30 military helicopters flew over the building reactor, dropping 2,400 tons of lead and 1,800 tons of sand in order to smother the fire and absorb the radiation. This was unsuccessful, however, and 600 men were severely irradiated during the cleanup, including 130 workers that received 650 years' worth of a radiation worker's annual limit. In total, about 600,000 to 800,000 men were involved in the cleanup operations in Chernobyl up to 1989. Of these men, 300,000 received radiation doses 500 times the limit for a year. They received an average of 100 millisieverts of radiation. The radiation affected plant and animals' health significantly. A large area of pine forest was killed and was named the Red Forest. Also, livestock animals around the area were advised not to eat. Fish in deepwater lakes were banned for sale. The animals living in the contaminated areas suffered various side effects, including reduced brain size and cognitive abilities. Also, the radiation caused an increase of Down syndrome in the area, as well as other genetic mutations such as deformed heads and limbs. These mutations occurred in several generations after the accident, and its effects can still be seen today. Following the incident, the reactor was surrounded by a large concrete shelter which was erected by 1986. However, this concrete shelter is neither strong nor durable. Currently, the Chernobyl new safe confinement structure is being constructed and is due to be completed in 2017. This giant structure would allow the radiation to be completely blocked in, as well as be visually appealing. Today, people are slowly resettling back into the previously contaminated zone, and in fact, the Ukrainian government declared that the Chernobyl plant was an official tourist attraction. Through this accident, many things were learned and changes were brought, and overall, this reactor safety was increased all around the world. Nowadays, through automatic inspection and shutdown mechanisms, an accident like Chernobyl is practically impossible, according to a German nuclear safety agency report. Let's just hope something like this doesn't happen again.